Well, hello, my pretties. Welcome to episode 153 on Shadows and Pretties. Today, in this episode, I am going to be talking about this one movie from um 2017 2018 movie called Scarecrows. Now, this horror movie is really different compared to the other ones I've seen, and this is the one I've never seen really before until just recently when I finally was able to watch it online. This movie, I'm gonna be completely honest, this movie was definitely something. I'm not denying one bit. This movie is definitely a horror movie I never really expected, to see clearly to say. But until I finally watched it, I can honestly see this movie, in my opinion. I'm gonna explain about that because, yeah, there are some things I could talk about this movie that it does need, some improvement on or something. But, anyways, before I get to let me explain about the plot of this movie. Basically, um, this mainly involves teenagers named Eli, um, Ash, Devin, and basically Farbiz or something. I can't even remember these guys' names, but mainly involves these certain a group of teenagers. They go to they're going on a trip or something when they unfortunately end up losing they ended up going through this one path that is well um a place where they were not supposed to trespass. Meanwhile, we have the farm owner, who is a farmer, is the main antagonist of this movie. Now, he is portrayed by Jason J. Thomas, which I'm gonna be honest, I never really understood don't know who Jason J. Thomas is. I believe he's the actor, but I'm going to be looking it up as of now because I never actually heard of that person. But now I know he's an actor, so that's quite something. I never heard of this actor. It's one of these actors I really have never heard of or, never, actually know or anything like that. It's one of these actors that I never really, know or heard of. In case if you are all sitting there and are wondering. But yeah, since this movie came out in 2017, yeah, I mean, the acting is pretty decent for a film like this. I mean, it's not the best horror movie in the world, but it's definitely could have been, could have been better. I mean, maybe not perfect, but yeah, like for one of them being, it's not too gory, but there are scenes where it's gory in certain ways, and I mean, some scenes may be kind of squeamish to some people to an extent, depending on what happens. So this farm owner is basically the insane rancher who lures unsuspecting people to his farm to mutilate and turn his farm to them into his farm scarecrows to protect his crop. Although here a really messed up thing, to be completely honest, is that his wife unfortunately dies from something. I mean, I don't even know what happened, but I have a feeling that the farm owner has some mental issues or something, and maybe because he's trying to protect the crop and that. And I don't even know how what happened to his wife. We don't really get a lot of backstory about what happened to his wife in there. I mean, with some villains, they quite have us confused as to why they become the way they are. I mean, that's really something thing that I'm not understanding either. Is like, why did they become the way they are? That's anyone's guess mainly. But if I have to say, to be completely honest, the farm owner is an old-fashioned farmer. As he wears a dirty jacket, brown pants, dirty boots, and a western hat. He also wears a utility belt to hold his scarecrow making tools. But of course, he seems to be an ordinary man, other than being insane, and he's a master stitcher, however. he's quite good at keeping victims up as scarecrows. So basically, when he captures the people who cross his paths, he stitches his victims' mouths shut with stitches and dresses them up as scarecrows, and they're left on the field to die. I mean, if you take a look at some of the screenshot photos, if you look on Google now, you'll definitely see some of them are quite quite terrifying. Not really too terrifying, but they do provide something that actually would look horrifying. But yet again, I mean, you could honestly see the actors and or the characters in a lot of pain. I mean, these teenagers when they come across, the the farm, the farmer, the main character Ash tries to escape with the help of the farmer's son, although the farmer's son is killed and the farmer chases after Ash. But unfortunately, near the end of the movie, she gets turned into a scarecrow. Now, this movie, I could definitely say, is not for kids, obviously. It is definitely not a kids movie. I'm definitely saying that now. Any kid would pretty much be traumatized by this movie if they were to see it. To be fair, I honestly did not think this movie was bad at all. I mean, it does need some improvement, which I will get to in a bit, but a lot of people would really know that he's quite the antagonist, the farmer, basically is quite skill at keeping his victims up as scarecrows and a master stitcher. However, he often carries a psyche to threaten or even kill victims. He also uses this to wounds and carries a belt that holds the equipment such as screwdrivers, carving tools, stitches, clips, nails, staples, and knives are all in this belt of terror. So he basically is the main villain, and these teenagers who are, roaming around the area, they're trying to, get out of the place, get their friends to get out. It's like your typical, horror movie of its own self. I mean, pretty much most of the characters die, and the last one's, there to suffer. And to be fair, I did think that this movie did have somewhat of an interesting concept, and it did seem like it would be an interesting, decent movie. But however, though, there are a few things that kind of need to be worked on per se. Like maybe this is just from my point of view or something. Now the director Adam Rodness, who worked on Hemlock Grove, and Stuart Stone, who is TV's The Thrillizations, who directed it. It gives us a sneak peek of the daily routine, apparently by a mute farmer who never outgrew with playing with his possible action figures as the movie opens. So the farmer basically, you know, he basically captures his victims and he you know, basically turns them into scarecrows. Now, I'm gonna sit here and say this right now. Scarecrows isn't really a horrible movie. The cinematography, from what I've seen, was good, and the sound quality is actually pretty decent for what it is. The special effects are pretty simple, but effective to what we see in the movie. Now, if you could see the scene from the rating, The Scarecrows is actually a better movie than From Darkness Wakes, which I've never heard of. But of course, that one nearly came out a single star due to its structural flaws. But of course, Scarecrows doesn't have any of those I noticed when I watched the movie. It's a decently built and flows along reasonably well, but the main problem of this movie is that it's utterly forgettable. It would almost be better if it was horrible, but at least then you might remember. It's one of those so bad it's good movies. As it stands though, well, the movie is just it's not terrible, but it does need maybe improvement. Like if the movie had some improvement, I could definitely say right now it would be pretty good. Like I mean, it's not a bad movie, but it is decent. It's one of those horror movies that actually they look not good, but actually look quite decent. Yet again, I mean, this is just my opinion. I mean, if you guys don't like this movie, I respect your opinion. If you like this movie, that's pretty cool with me because I respect people's opinion. My opinion, though, it's alright. Maybe not best, but definitely not a bad movie either. I mean, it does need improvement, but other than that, it still has a pretty good decency to make a good movie for what this one is. Yet again, I mean, I know this is a short Shadows and Pretties episode, but I just thought, I go ahead and review this movie cuz why not? Now, like I'm going to say right now, this is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas. No, not creepypastas. Well, these movies. You feel free to state your own thoughts in the comments below. Maybe state your opinion of what could you have done to make the movie a lot better. What could have been done, for the movie to be a lot better. I mean, you guys can state your own opinions and thoughts in the comments below, but please be respectful though. That's all I ask is make sure the comments are respectful in a sense. But anyways, I guess with that being the case and that being said, what did you guys think about this movie? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what have you have done personally to help make this movie a lot better? As always, feel free to leave me what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're brand new here to this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload. So that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace out, and I'll see you all next time.